Yes, it is Chris Mitchell. Andrew Coates is with him, and also Steve McBurney. It is St Kilda's Vidovic who gets him down towards Anderson. He kicks up towards the right half forward flank. Burns is there for Collingwood. Scotty Burns towards the boundary line and over. This crowd has certainly built up in excess of 65,000, I would imagine, by now. A cool night and really perfect conditions. An absolute celebration. What a time the AFL's having. Sirakowski doing the ruck work on that occasion. Burke got caught, but he did get boot to ball. Krasiska goes to ground, gets taken out of it, but he'll hop up once again. Play on is the call for the Saints as Keogh got it out. Rod Keogh's kicked down towards half forward. No one able to take it. Sharkey was there. Stuart Lowe gets the hand pass out. They've got to get rid of it quickly. Anderson snaps towards goal, but he's off target. And one behind goes on the board. First score of the night going the way of St Kilda.
And already young Coughlin, who was not in the original 21 but has taken the place of Bardsley, is warming up quite near the interchange area. Collingwood bring it in. Well, uncustomary role for Paul Williams, I would suggest, kicking the ball in. Nearly could have taken the mark there was Sharkey. Ball nearly with Buckley. Oh, in trouble Curran, but didn't he bounce off that beautifully? He gets to 50 metres. He goes long towards the goals. The umpire calls play on, no free kick, and it's through for a score leveller. Just behind. Each side have been forward once. Alex McDonald, Shane Watson, and the other player there, Lee, I didn't quite recognise.
Francis was
Matthew Francis,
the third face there, Robert.
Rod Keogh marks the kick in. St Kilda in a very much older style football Guernsey, but doesn't make that much difference to the way they get the ball away from the full back line. This is Nathan Buckley, always looks beautifully balanced. Gets it across to Krasiska off the left foot. He keeps it in the arena of play. Moncourse gathers it quite nicely, throws it onto his right foot to full forward. Oh, well done by Rocker. Just the bulk of Sav Rocker kept Shanahan away from the football, and he's marked it basically one-handed. Magnificent control.
Yes, once he gets the front position, I mean, he just really, ball dropped marginally short, and Rocker was able to control it one-handed, and obviously holds Shanahan off with his left side of his body.
Well, he's going to kick. The player on the mark is only 20 metres from goal. So Sav Rocker should kick a goal, and he does. Collingwood have got the first of the night.
It's been an interesting start. Collingwood have started Damien Monkhurst deep in the forward pocket alongside Rock at the moment, and Mark Richardson into the ruck. And just at the start, Collingwood seem to have a loose man in their forward line. Just the matchups haven't quite been worked out just yet. And that was Monkhurst who just got margin clear, quick kick in. And again, very good, strong. Good for Rocker's confidence to start well so early.
Severio Rocker's first for the night. It's his 28th for the season. As Vidovic wins it again, but they don't take it out of the centre. It's a high floating kick up towards half forward. At the back was Rocker once again. He crashes into a wall of players, loses the football. Daniels picks it up now, gets the hand pass out towards Justin Peckett. Peckett from the back pocket goes up towards centre wing. Going to be kept in play by the youngster in Aussie Jones. Off to Dean Anderson. Now St Kilda go inside 50. Anderson chips to Stuart Lowe, and a vice-like grip of the football. Lowe from 51 metres. It's a long drop punt. It's into the square and over the back for one behind. Stuart Lowe coming into this game with 37 goals and 14 behinds for the season. There's the Saints bench as they trail 2 behinds to 1 goal 1. Williams to bring it back into play. Rocker, the sole goal scorer to date. Paul Williams, well, he's on the verge of a milestone. This is game number 99 for him. Off he goes to the oldest player in the Collingwood lineup, Craig Kelly. Good use of the body by Krasiska. Now they can start something here. The hand pass is shot out towards Curran. Up towards the forward line. Out came Monkhorst. Got a hand to it, but that was all. Ball goes to ground. Flicked out the back. A chance for Francis. Rides 1-2, but there's been a whistle. St Kilda free kick. That could be 50.
I think Tony Francis belted that guy and the kick was reversed, Sandy.
So Wakeland has the football, goes out wider towards Burke.
Nathan Burke, one of the captains of the Collingwood club, the St Kilda club rather. Robert Harvey's on centre wing. Gee, he'll have to get a lot of the football tonight if the Saints are to win this game. Great player, Robert Harvey. Awkward kicking style. In towards the forward pocket area. Low, goes between his legs. In goes Burns looking for the free kick. And then robbed Low of the football but couldn't break away, so the umpire will bounce about 45 metres from the St Kilda goal. Doesn't he look terrific, Stuart Low? Fit as a mallee bull. Collingwood have made a change. Watson's onto the ground. And Joel Smith couldn't take it. And looks like Russell may be on the bench for the Magpies. Collingwood forced the ball clear for a boundary throw-in.
One would suspect injury problems as Russell's off the ground this early in the game.
Yep. Well, we've got Dipper on the boundary line. I'm sure he'll keep us up to date with what is going on there. But Scotty Russell's been in sensational form for the Pies. Richardson had front spot. Chance for Collingwood to drift it towards the half-forward line. Buckley, then a late tackle. Keogh under pressure. An advantage is paid. Keogh swings it into half-forward. That's a better kick. Laser Vidovic takes the mark. He wants to get on with the job, does Big Laser. Down to full forward. Lo and behold, he's there. Stuart Low.
You know, you get the feeling that St Kilda have actually improved a lot of their skill level. You know, around the middle of the ground, Rob Keogh, then he just held onto the football long enough to find Vidovic on his own, and then the ball finishing with Low was with a precision-type pass as well.
Just the one best and fairest to his name at the moment. That was back in 1990. He'll win more than that. He goes. So Stuart Low gets St Kilda's first. They answer, and they now trail. They now lead by 1 point.
Well, it's been a good start to the game. I mean, both sides have started quite well, and obviously the scores are fairly level, but just in this first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, both sides are doing okay. So it looks like we're in for a really good contest at this very early stage.
Any good fortune there by Vidovic's kick, maybe? Just might have slipped off the side of his boot. Stuart Low. Craig Kelly. We saw Scott Russell come off the ground. Dipper?
Yes, unfortunately, they're a bit concerned about his left hamstring at the moment, so I'll keep an eye on it and let you know.
Okay, well, that'll be a big blow for Collingwood. Curran, forced forward by Mark Richardson to centre half forward. This is Stephen Pitt. Handball away, Brown. Terrific recovery. Knocked unconscious last week. Hand pass into the pocket. It's close to the line. Patterson takes it over. Pressure being provided by Justin Peckett and Jason Daniels. And a very sandy area there, just where the, well, any participants in a motorcade enter the arena just there. And the sand has been laid. Curran in a spot of bother. Desperate stuff shown there by Coblin. Young, was it? So the umpire will bounce. The play is about 25 metres from the Collingwood goal. St Kilda lead 1-2, Collingwood 1-1. The goal kicker Stuart Low and Severio Rocker.
Pies in with a chance for another one here. Again, Young puts his body in. Hold up the football towards Harvey. He was trapped, but he did manage to spiral it towards the half-back line. An opportunity now for Joel Smith. Gave it away nicely to the running Harvey. This is what he loves to do. From centre wing into half-forward. And not a good kick. Strong mark, but disappointing kick. And Burns relieves the pressure. Scotty Burns to the outer side. Schäuble has it now. He looks down towards Kelly on left half-forward. Craig Kelly is 70 metres from home. It's a long drop punt. It's a big pack of players there. Who's waiting down in front? Collingwood wants a runner. Here's Patterson, the former Red Leg from South Australia. A high kick into the square. Monkhorst is there. Couldn't take it. Curran waiting down. Applies a tackle. Could have almost given away a free kick. I think he has. Held him just a little too long. Keogh has been busy early. Rod Keogh bounces his way through half-back. Looks towards centre wing. Daniels, a fine mark. Well, he's come back to his old club, full of rejuvenation. And you give him a rap and it's not a good kick. Burns again. Goes short and Richardson has it on half-back.
Mark Richardson kicks it in towards centre half-back where Krasiska has marked the played on. Just got away from Joel Smith. Punched away by Young. Ball gathered by Anderson, both ex-Hawthorn players. The kick to half-forward. Chance for Luke Beveridge. He swoops onto it quickly. He's gone. Gets the hand pass away. He was lucky he wasn't penalised. Anderson kicks it forward. And a good diving effort by Kelly. If he didn't gather that ball, the Saints might have been in with a chance there, but Kelly marks and kicks it outside 50, gathered by Krasiska. Krasiska down the wing, and it's marked by Buckley. A wonderful accumulator of statistics is Nathan Buckley. A beautiful kick of the football. This is no exception. Kicks it out towards the half-forward area, picked off by Francis. Francis, a shot for goal. Just hooked it a little bit. Young takes it over. And the throw-in will take place left forward pocket for Collingwood. Damien Monkhorst having a little spell on the bench early in the game. So let's hope he's okay. Coming into the side after a couple of weeks out with injury. Shanahan and Rocker to do the ruck work.
And Shanahan has certainly been in excellent form. So too, of course, is Severio Rocker. Nathan Burke takes the hand pass, has a chance to run from half-back. Good shepherding allows him that freedom. He kicks towards half-forward, flicked over the top by Shawble, and he got a very kind bounce. His kick is wide to Tony Francis. He's going to be under the pump. Wakeland's there right on his hammer and takes him over the line.
I think we saw an enormous example of Andrew Shawble then, who lands on his feet. He's very, very good young player, a bit cat-like, and he flew for the ball, spoiled in the pack, and was first to recover at ground level. He's a very, very promising second-year player.
Throw on right half-forward for Collingwood. At the back is Paul Williams, 45 metres out. He bends it back for their second.
Well, there's plenty of one-on-one matchups happening here. In fact, Williams, Jason Daniels is trying to pick him up. Burke is on Francis. Curran is on Harvey, which means Keogh is on Buckley in the midfield at the moment. There's been a lot of sort of midfield matchups, and now Gavin Brown is going to the midfield, but got away clear then Williams, and a good lead foot finish from that 35-metre range to put Collingwood further ahead.
Gee, that could be the big difference between these two teams. A wonderful finish by Williams. Vidovic gets his left fist to it, taken by Sirakoski. Must have expected to be tackled around the middle of the ground where there's quite a lot of players. Curran comes away with it, gets it to Graham Wright. Wright's kicked down towards half-forward. Diving effort by Pitt, couldn't control it. In goes Daniels, sweeps it clear to the advantage of McLaren. Taken away by Robbie Neal. Little left foot kick is all right. He finds Beveridge at left half-forward. Luke Beveridge. Melbourne and Footscray, now St.Kilda. Low missed it, and it was very well marked in the finish by Watson. And he's on that 50-metre line. The swooper is Krasiska. Kicks it out wide, brilliantly into the path of Buckley. He's caught, gets the hand pass away. Richardson caught, also got the hand pass away. McDonald now for Collingwood. Onto his left foot, into the pocket, nearly taken by Young. Under pressure back there was McLaren. He went for the line, and it will be thrown in. Number 30 there for Collingwood is Paul Sharkey, Stan Elves, and Gary Colling.
I think you'll find the Keogh and Buckley matchup won't last long. Buckley will be too quick and run too hard for that. That'll change before too long, I suspect.
Magpies by 5 points. Vidovic trying to do the work from behind. Got it down towards Robert Neal, who tumbled a punt out towards Nathan Burke, who's in front of Brown. Burke, a floating kick up towards right half forward. Good strong mark taken over the top by Sirakoski. Centenary kick is going to be okay. Now St Kilda has a chance here for the youngster to push this deep into attack. And Smith from 53 metres. It's long, it's low, and it is straight. So Smith gets his first. Joel Smith gets his 6th for the season.
It was a good goal by Smith. He's actually a good kick of the ball. He was looking for the low lead, but he saw that the guy on the mark basically played for that, overplayed the position on the mark, and a good low, long 50-metre straight kick.
Very talented player, Joel Smith, and with just natural improvement can be a very important part of this St Kilda lineup for many years. 2-2 to 2-1. St Kilda lead. The ball to Beveridge. Beveridge hooks the kick over his left shoulder. A little misunderstanding between Kosiska and Wright. Oh, gee, nearly swooped on it there, Trianides, but gathered by Shawbull. Shawbull, a lovely long kick to centre-half forward. Punched away by Vidovic to the front. Peckett, tackled by Buckley. Handball wide to McLaren. Back he goes to Daniels. Daniels opens it up a little bit. Oh, a bit stiff there. The bounce of the ball favoured Collingwood, and Williams came away with it. And fortunately for Paul Williams, the bounce of the ball just running away all the time there from Rod Keogh. Out of bounds, boundary throw in right.
Damien Monkhurst gone onto the ground in the ruck, and Mark Richardson did the centre bounce. And at the moment, Wakeland's not sure who his opponent is. We'll see how long it takes him to pick up that Richardson, in fact, is his direct opponent.
Tony Shaw keeping a close eye on things. Richardson tried to push it wider, taken away by Sharkey over the top to Curran. Now here's a chance from 50 metres. Nathan Buckley goes bang! What he can do, Lee.
And I think already this rotating midfield we've come to expect of Collingwood over the last 2 or 3 weeks is troubling St Kilda. St Kilda want to keep Burke in the centre, centre square action as much as possible, and basically because Collingwood already are rotating players through. And I mentioned the Buckley-Keogh matchup is a bad matchup from St Kilda's point of view, and whether they've got another option is something Stan Ells must be thinking about right now.
Gee, that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up when Buckley gets the ball 50 metres and pumps it through a long way over the line. The ruck contest, the ball spills now to the wing. Surakoski, good gather, away to Harvey, tackled but got the hand pass in the direction of Nathan Burke. His opponent at this stage is Burns, but the ball is over for a throw-in. Scott Burns in picture, Dean Anderson in the background. 3-1 plays 2-2. All individual goal kickers at this stage. Damien Monkhurst and David Surakoski nearly hit Rod Keogh in the face there. Gavin Brown's handball. Surakoski gets it to Joel Smith. Smith's kick is high, not all that well directed. It'll bounce inside, just at the feet there of Everett. Nathan Burke's a big chance here. Spins out of trouble, back onto his right foot, kicks to the front. Joel Smith nearly took a one-hander. Anderson's caught, well caught by Watson. Tied him up completely. Umpire decides that it's no win situation. He'll bounce.
A touch ball, and Joel Smith heard the call, and that's why he didn't try to mark it.
So Peter Everett towards Burke. He couldn't control the football. Knocked out by Burns. Watson gets it clear. Buckley again. Back onto his left foot. Kick down the line is well marked by Mark Richardson.
4 kicks to Nathan Buckley. Richardson has it on centre wing. He goes long towards the 50. Almost a free kick to Collingwood waiting down in front. It was Peckett who got the hand pass away towards Neal. Another one finds Matthew Young off to Harvey. Now they're starting to run. Back it goes towards Neal. He goes over the centre. Burke leads in the race for the ball for St Kilda. Takes out one. Keeps on going. And it was a big take too because it was Damien Monkhurst. Flicks it back into the middle beautifully to Surakoski.
He beat 2 Collingwood players pointless there, Nathan Burke.
He's a grand footballer. Surakoski, that is a big kick towards Stuart Lowe.
That's amazing.
That man is a man mountain. I mean, there's no player, maybe Tony Lockett's the other one, who can stand there and take the weight of a couple of players against his body, stand there, hold his height and mark the ball.
3 marks already. And now a chance for St Kilda to regain the lead. And they do that.
And I'm sure we'll have a look at this on the replay, and what we'll see here is that it's basically a one-on-one contest between Lowy and Kelly, and Shawbull will moat here as he goes, will peel off Everett. So Shawbull comes into the contest too. but Lowy's just able, maybe it was a little shove, but it was just such a strong stand and a full reach for the ball. It was fantastic ball.
St Kilda 3-2 lead Collingwood 3-1. Very, very interesting contest at this stage. Keogh takes the ball. He's well tackled by Francis. Ball spills for Anderson. He's tackled well by Buckley. And the umpire, well, gave all players a fair chance. Nathan Buckley appealing for the free kick, but it will be bounced in the centre.
Already tonight, the umpires are letting it go. But then we've seen a number of half free kicks I reckon would have been paid in previous weeks. But they're letting them play, which is great.
Well, it's a beautiful night for football, Sandy, so let the boys go.
Exactly right, yes. We couldn't have asked for a better night, and they're doing just that at the moment with just a point the difference. Collingwood in their attacking zone. Richardson taken the ground, and it's going to be free kick. Wakeland looks up somewhat curiously.
It was against Peckett, Sandy. As Peckett went through, it was slightly high contact, I would think.
Yes, Wakeland asked the question, and he was told. And we'll see it once more now. Justin Peckett coming into on the right-hand side. Wakeland taking him to ground, and Peckett a little high. So Richardson a chance in this seesawing first quarter to give Collingwood the lead once more. Been a great start to this game. No worries there for Richardson. His first. 4 individuals have kicked Collingwood's goals. They are 4-1. St Kilda 3-2.
Well, we've had exactly alternating goals for the entire first quarter. Collingwood scored one, then St Kilda scored one, and that's what's happened again. It was a high tackle, had to be a free kick, and it was a good accurate conversion. But so at the moment, Collingwood are able just to keep that goal in front. St Kilda have been able to pick it up so far, but Collingwood just keep getting that 6 points ahead.
Gee, that was a good kick by Mark Richardson. Goal umpire hardly had to move. Lazar Vidovic up against Mockhorst, tries to take it out of the air, does Damien Mockhorst. Unsuccessful, and the umpire will bounce it once again. So the umpires we mentioned were Andrew Coates, Chris Mitchell and Steve McBarney. Well, to my knowledge, wouldn't have umpired a lot of football, I wouldn't have thought. Williams gets it to McDonald. McDonald, very skillfully, but just a little bit too far there for Savrocker. And it goes over for a throw in right forward pocket for the Magpies.
An accountant, a teacher and a solicitor in charge out there tonight. So they can do your contract, they can pay you, and perhaps give you a few lessons.
Certain degree of qualification. Don't argue. Rocker, Shanahan. Buckley, snapshot by Nathan Buckley is a beauty.
And again, I'll say it ad nauseum, they've got a bad matchup, St Kilda. And Keogh then will probably see it on the replay. He stayed behind the pack. He didn't cover his direct opponent. He chose to go inside, let Buckley go to the front of the pack, and Buckley was good enough to curl the ball over his left shoulder for goal. Critical goal for Collingwood. They've got the 2 consecutive goals to go to the 12-point lead.
.31 plays 20. A couple of sensational goals from Buckley as Vidovic does battle, but he's beaten. Anderson wins it out of the centre, goes down towards the half-forward line. Beveridge was away, but there's been a whistle, and it's going to go right back to the middle. Nathan Burke has the free kick. So one of the Saints captains kicks towards another champion in Stuart Lowe. Robert Harvey keeps the football just in play. Swings them back inside 50 once again, but going over the line is Joel Smith. Nathan Buckley has been busy. 7 kicks and 2 sensational goals. Well, he likes a stage, and he's got one here tonight, has Nathan Buckley. Richardson on all fours, has it almost smothered. Wanted Curran, didn't find him. Picked up by Harvey. Tumbled back towards Smith, who heads towards the boundary line. He may keep it in play. He does the youngster, but only for a moment, because there's that man again, Nathan Buckley. A big test now for Joel Smith. Let's see what he can do on Nathan Buckley. Sirakowski wearing the 13 strip. Tony Francis in the veteran stage now. Sharkey couldn't take it. Oh, it may open the door for Collingwood to sneak out of trouble here. Peckett went a little too early. Spills out the back. Opportunity for Neil to get the hand pass away. Not out of it now, and it's a turnover to Tony Francis. Francis spears it in towards full forward. And it is good enough for Gavin Brown. Polak's last week. But now the skipper is set to have a shot.
Lovely kick by Tony Francis. He's a lovely weight of the ball, left or right foot. He allows the player looting for the ball to run into it. When it's a low mark like that, it's impossible for any defender to do anything about spoiling.
He's kicked 5 goals, 3 so far this season as Gavin Brown. But this would give them a handy little buffer. 17-point break if he's straight, but he's not. 1 behind. 12 points the margin.
Ozzie Jones, he just missed the ball in the middle of the ground, and when you mentioned about the turnover, it was probably that critical, well, just mishap by Ozzie Jones, and he's having a spell on the bench. Peckett kicks in and finds Burke. Nathan Burke, of course. Darren Burke is on the interchange bench at this stage for St Kilda. This is Matthew Young, takes the ball away towards the wing. Crow and Trianides. The ball over for a boundary throw in. Fantastic crowd in first-class conditions for a game of football, and St Kilda supporters very enthusiastic about their team's chances. They won the Ansett Cup, of course. Had a pretty ordinary start to their season. Joel Smith had attempted hack out of the air. Buckley tries to force it forward. Sirakowski in there with Monkhorst. Still Tony Francis, rugby scrum-like, tries to get it clear. And pats of acclamation on little Tony Francis. Not quite successful to get it clear, but was in there burrowing as he normally is.
Yes, made his debut with the club in 1990, and what a year to do it with a premiership. Now Williams is an exciting player, but he's caught by Harvey. Buckley, yet another possession as he picks it up, floats it towards Patterson, couldn't take it. Graham Wright with vision. Francis just tried to pop it over, did so cleverly towards Alex McDonald, but he sprays it. Finding a new home and settling in pretty well is Alex McDonald.
As is Scott Crow.
Yes. They haven't made a lot of changes, but just it's amazing what a couple of players can do, Lee, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes, they've been good. Sort of basically the guys that make up the numbers, but are doing it well, allowing the star midfielders, the Williamses and the Buckleys, the Russells and the Francis to can't pick them all up.
Peckett's kick goes to the outer wing. Oh, that was beautifully done. Here he is again, Nathan Buckley. What a quarter of football to Graham Wright. Collingwood will go charging towards 50. In fact, inside. Richardson over the back. Got the fly, but couldn't complete the mark. Fisted down by Robert Neal to the boundary line and over.
Well, they're under siege at the moment, St Kilda. It's a critical point of the match for them. Collingwood get another goal or two and they're right away. So this next goal of St Kilda is really very important in the context of the end result.
Vidovic and Mark Richardson to do the ruck work. Graham Wright closely attended to by Dean Anderson. He's going to get a free kick, Anderson. Just grabbed a little high in that contest. He is between the back pocket and right half-back flank. Well, it's going back to Joel Smith, so it wasn't the free kick to Anderson as called. Joel Smith now kicks it out in the Everett direction. Shawbull recovers very well. Monkhorst to Curran. Curran from the middle of the ground. Kicks towards half forward, and it's well taken by Vidovic. He plays on quickly. Kicks it out wide. Gathered by Trianides, tackled there by Burns. Play goes on. Sharkey to Burns is good football for the Maggies. Burns' kick is marked by Patterson. Patterson is within scoring distance. Umpire had blown time on, so he had to go back and kicks in short. So not confident that he could get the distance, but this guy can. And with just seconds left, Nathan Buckley could kick his 3rd goal for the quarter. 3 out of 6. Be a good start. Saw him having a chat to one of the central umpires too.
Be a good kick this too.
Well, he is a magnificent kick of the football and gets the distance easily. 3 goals to Buckley. Gee, no wonder Patterson kicked it to him.
He lost 10 metres to give it to him, but really, I mean, he's kicked the ball, 60 metres at least, 65 metres, lovely and straight. He's a beautiful long kick. We sometimes think his ability to spot a player up can leaves a bit to be desired, but that ability to kick the ball long and straight over 50 or 60 metres, he's brilliant at that.
Well, that's the one St Kilda didn't want inside the last minute, because it has stretched Collingwood's lead now to 19 points. Vidovic tries to flick it out of the centre, but it's Watson. Goes down towards half forward, taken by Neal. Pokes it back to Harvey. Robert Harvey's on centre wing, but precious seconds are ticking away. He goes down towards the 50. Lowe and Kelly lock arms. All too late. Siren has sounded. It's quarter time now. What's happening? That football's going to be brought back. And Stuart Lowe.
I think the umpire played the advantage, Sandy, and when he saw the siren goes, obviously it's not an advantage if you hear the siren. He's brought the kick back to Lowe. I'm not sure if that's in the rules, but that's what he's done.
Well, down comes Danny Fawley now in the Collingwood camp. Of course, a great defender with Tony Shaw, who's having plenty to say. But Stuart Lowe, this is a big kick for St Kilda, because he's booted 2. Nathan Buckley has 3 for Collingwood. And here comes Stan Alves. This distance may test him. Into the man on the mark. No score. And a pumped up Craig Kelly heads towards the huddle.
Well, I'd like to see a replay of that. If Kelly wasn't 2 metres over the mark, I'll go he.
I agree.
Well, here is the kick again. Let's see if you're going to go he.
Not the kick, it's where the mark was.
True.
I mean, I would have thought it was right on the 50-metre mark was exactly where the free kick was paid.
Well, Lee, I'm sorry, not even you can change what has taken place.
Umpire's always right.
There is no addition to the score. It's quarter time here at the MCG. Collingwood are 6-3, 39. 19-point leaders over St Kilda, 3-2-20.
Very much, Sandy. I can certainly tell you, Tony Shaw was not happy about that decision. He asked Gavin Brown to go out and speak to the umpires, and Gavin certainly did. But it is certainly a game of matchups, more of St Kilda's side, and at the moment, Collingwood are very much on top.
Robert Harvey tries to win it out of the centre. It is going to be a free kick to St Kilda, and it'll be taken by Lazer Vidovic. Well, they want the first one. There's no doubt about that. If they're going to stay in touch with Collingwood, who were sensational in that first quarter, particularly this man, Nathan Buckley, from half back. Now, there's been a whistle, and Collingwood have lost it because of some illegal shepherding. And Crow not happy, but he was the player who took out Beveridge. So Luke Beveridge has the football on right centre wing. Just a couple of kicks in the first quarter for Beveridge. He wants, of course, Stuart Lowe.
Well, kicking the ball from the wing to centre half forward is fraught with danger, I suppose, unless you're kicking it to Stuart Lowe.
Well, he's going to play on here. In towards the pocket region he goes, and he finds his co-big man, Peter Everett.
And that's certainly what St Kilda need. I mean, Shawball absolutely dominated in that position. Everett didn't touch the ball in the first quarter, and they need his height to trouble Shawball to really put that extra bit of pressure on the Collingwood defence.
Yes, you're quite right, Lee. Did not touch the football. But a chance now to really get amongst it with a left foot drop punt for his first goal of the night. And that's what St Kilda wanted to start this second quarter.
And it would appear to Sandry just what's happening within the game, that Darren Burke has finally replaced Rod Kerr on Nathan Buckley. But Everett is obviously a very tall player. No one defenders that tall, and when he allowed him to reach for the ball, up until that point, Shawball have been able to get his body against him and just not allowed Everett to really be balanced with the ball above his head.
So 6-3 plays 4-2. Collingwood lead early in the second term. And the ruckman to go at it once again. Monkhorst gets down towards Buckley. Buckley overruns it. Anderson's a chance. Just goes straight past McDonald. The kick has been taken by Brown. He just swept it away. Gavin Brown kicked it to half forward, and McDonald's into the action again. Knocked down by Darren Burke. And umpire just ticking Darren Burke off. Not penalising the St Kilda player. So McDonald will kick from 55 metres. Alex McDonald. Not a bad kick to the front of the square, but a good mark, excellent mark. Taken back there by Wakeland. Hand pass away. Neil it is for St Kilda. A short kick. Well, that wasn't very well directed because Brown was in the front posse and the kick was short, which gave Brown every chance to take the mark, and he did. Into the pocket. The mark has been taken by Mark Richardson. So only 37 games, but certainly proving to be a valuable player for Collingwood. 4 kicks, 2 handballs, and has already kicked 1 goal. One would suggest that he fancies his chances. No, he sees out of the corner of his eye the opportunity to kick to the front of the goals. Buckley, can he get his 4th? He is so skillful off both sides. That is a magnificent kick. 4 goals to Nathan Buckley. Well, we're being treated to something special here in the first quarter and a bit. Nathan Buckley has kicked 4 out of 7 for Collingwood.
And I think right at the moment, Stan Ells must be considering whether to remove Jason Daniels from Paul Williams. He's doing a good job there, but Buckley's absolutely cutting them up, and his ability to finish. I mean, 4 goals early in the second quarter. St Kilda will lose unless they can control Buckley.
Well, the Nathan Buckley show continues here at the MCG. 4 out of 7 for him. Pitt is back on the ground, and St Kilda need a couple smartly to stop the flow. Craig Kelly has done that at full back at the moment. Chips to the outer side, finds Gavin Krasiska. Krasiska from half back, heads towards centre wing. Vidovic late on the scene, fists it down in front. Buckley was there, Everett caught. Richardson body over the ball. Also there is Joel Smith. Nathan Buckley having a bit of a chat. Schäuble will pick himself up. And last man up, Mark Richardson. Scorer of 1 goal tonight so far. It's on the outer wing. Burke tried to soccer off the ground. Buckley did likewise, but missed. Burke goes again, taken by Francis, not before he gets the hand pass away. Now Laser Vidovic. Big man swings around, has a look up towards the 50, kicks towards that area. Low in all sorts of bother. Schäuble had it for a moment, then regained it. Well done by Schäuble to give it to Krasiska. And Krasiska kicks up over centre wing. Floats over the back. Wakeland is there, but has it taken out of his hands. Peckett is under pressure as they all give chase, and Williams is very quick. Shepherding sees him clear. Paul Williams flicks it beautifully to Curran. Curran is 52 metres out. Goes short towards the half-forward line. This is the player he was after initially. Pitts. Now Rocker. Francis. A chip inside 50. And now Collingwood has the chance to stretch their lead once again, because Curran, in his 14th game, is just 45 metres out.
Fantastic speed on the outer half-forward flank there. Really, Williams had 2 St Kilda players to beat and basically did it. Got the ball, and that really started the chain of possessions, which has ended with a pretty, a simple shot for goal, a 30-metre, 45-degree angle.
Well, he's made it a little harder than perhaps he would have liked, but he's got it home. His first. And Collingwood at the moment, Lee, having all the answers.
They are, yes. They just looked that little bit quicker. I think really you look over the whole side, and I think St Kilda's bottom 3 or 4 players have just made a few mistakes. Joe McLaren on the far wing, I think a couple of times early in the quarter, fell over once, allowed Gavin Brown to beat him to the ball. And just at the moment, Collingwood just look a little bit better all over the field.
St Kilda perhaps looking for Robert Harvey to lift his work rate. 7 kicks and 2 handballs. And kept out of it at this stage. Graham Wright dumped by Nathan Burke. Daniels gets the hand pass wide. Young goes hard at the football and follows it through. Gets the handball away to Anderson. Anderson hooks the kick to half forward. Oh, should have nearly been marked by Joel Smith. Off the ground, hacked out of there by Stuart Lowe. Misses to the right. Does score, but it's just a behind.
It's not the kind of mistakes you can afford in a pressure, high-tempo game. Where the lights got in Joel Smith's eye, it was really a simple, uncontested mark that a shot for goal has gone begging.
So Paul Williams to kick it back in 4-3. plays 8-3, the margin 4 goals. And that's the scoreline alongside Nathan Buckley's name. 4 goals. Vidovic couldn't mark. Knocked away by Chris Siska. Ozzy Jones a chance. Gets the handball in the direction of Harvey. He's caught by Curran. Curran doing a pretty good job, concentrating hard. Harvey's in there, and so was Curran. And it's locked up. The umpire will bounce just wide of the far centre square borderline, right on the Coca-Cola sign. Richardson and Vidovic. Daniels, good contest, but gee whiz, Williams was good in it too. The kick towards full forward in the direction of Rocker. Off the ground there by Shanahan. Patterson gets a pat there from one of his teammates, but a boundary throw-in will take place. The ball is about 35 metres around from the Collingwood goal. They lead 8-3 to 4-3, and we've got 14 minutes left in the second term.
There's Wakeland trying to do the work in front. Couldn't. Harvey just tackled beautifully. Curran flick passes it out towards Williams from a standing start. It's a high ball in towards the scoring zone once more, and away to the right from behind.
Important little touch there by Patterson, wasn't it? Harvey about to break away, and you mentioned about the good tackle. It was Patterson, and he just knocked it clear of Robert Harvey's hands.
He's a very good defensive player, Paul Williams. His chasing and tackling is a sort of strength of his game. He doesn't only use his speed to get the ball, he uses his speed to pressure the opposition.
Peckett to Harvey to Anderson. Maybe. No. Mark Richardson. Held. Ball spills free to Anderson. He runs into the tackle. Curran tries to run through everyone. He's almost successful. Back to Anderson again. And Tony Francis pounces on him like a seagull over a leftover sandwich.
Gee, another mark dropped there by St.Kilda. He might have been Anderson, was it, at centre-half back?
Yeah, another uncontested mark. It's just a sign, I think, of the pressure, that they're just not quite precise enough with their ball handling under the pressure of the game.
From the bounce, and the news from Dipper is that Russell won't be back for Collingwood tonight as Williams sends them forward again. Good talking there, and Rocker takes the mark. So Scotty Russell off with a hamstring. Bad luck for the former double blue in South Australia.
Yeah, great lead, great mark. I think it's time from St Kilda's point of view for maybe Daniels to be removed off Williams. Williams has started to break clear the last 5 minutes and get him across to Buckley. But at the moment, just too many Collingwood midfielders that are just getting the ball and pumping it forward.
Rocker going for his second. And that's way away to the right. He's played second fiddle in the goal-kicking department tonight to Nathan Buckley, who has 4. So Rocker just the one for him so far, with Jamie Shanahan doing the work. Came into this game with 27 goals, 21. So his conversion rate probably around the 56% mark. Wakeland, free kick and defends to Peckett.
Peckett tries to move it on quickly. Instead of going back and taking the kick, has got past his opponent, kicked it towards the wing. Gavin Brown tackled by Ozzy Jones, and the ball spills for a throw-in. Buckley to the assistance there of his captain, Tony Shaw, on the phone with instructions down to the bench. You can see the time remaining in the second term. Collingwood have control, but it's only 4 goals, and 4 goals in a game of football these days is not a big margin. Gee, Sirakoski gave it up a bit easy there to Graham Wright. Scott Crowe gets it back to Graham Wright. Wright kicks it very, very close to the line. It'll be out on the full. Gavin Brown has taken the mark, but he's a little disappointed. Joel Smith will take the free kick. He kicks it in towards the middle of the ground. Sirakoski, his kick towards centre-half forward. Trianides punched away by Burns. Nearly gathered there by Neal. Kelly is the tackler. And forces a ball up at centre-half forward for St Kilda.
Just not, as a team, they're just not grabbing the ball first go under pressure, St Kilda, at the moment, and just that little bit of first touch ball handling is what they have to pick up.
From the bounce, flicked over the back, Beveridge ducked his head, then swung to the forward zone once again, and the big arms of Peter Everett go up. Just too much height.
I'm afraid St Kilda look dangerous if they can get the ball to that part of the ground, but they just, over in the context of the game, just don't look like getting it to Lowe and Everett. quite enough at this point.
Peter Everett for his second. Didn't see the football in the first quarter, but he keeps St Kilda in touch with his second. Just drawing them a little closer. 8-4 plays 5-3.
Well, it's just such a battle in the midfield. Collingwood are on so much on top there that, I mean, Burke and Harvey are really playing a lone hand. I mean, Beveridge is in there at the moment. Darren Burke's in there at the moment, sometimes on Buckley. But all in all, they just need to get more out of that midfield group.
Two goals to Peter Everett. As we go back in the middle once again. Taken out of the centre by Richardson. Kick towards half forward. Oh, bounced beautifully off towards Buckley. It's a long kick in towards full forward. Where are the runners now as it's socket off the ground? Back towards Daniels. Floats a hand pass away towards Young. Gets another one clear to Harvey. And Daniels running that outer flank. Kicks it wide, very wide. And it goes out of bounds on the outer wing. Danny Frawley.
So Mark Richardson has been very good in the ruck. He's played centre-half forward for a while, started in the ruck, went to centre-half forward, back in the ruck. And they're going to double team Vidovic with Richardson and Monkhurst, so Vidovic's in for a big night.
Not sure that Frawley will be doing his best to give Tony Shaw all the good oil. Anderson almost threw that down to Luke Beveridge, but he accepted it gleefully enough. And why wouldn't he? To half forward, was that a shove? Well, umpire Andrew Coates was right there, the accountant, and he said no. Tony Francis will take it now on centre wing, and it could be danger for St Kilda. He pops it down towards right. It wasn't a good kick. St Kilda should be able to tidy up through Beveridge. Gives it away to Anderson. Another one towards Burke. Burke goes on the left foot pass, and it's a beauty into the middle. Sierakowski called to play on, and he does so. Long and low towards Stewart. And we said it in the first quarter, lo and behold, he's there again.
I was amazed it's as much strength in the legs, of course, as strength in the upper body, that when Lowy's able to stand his ground, he's just so solid on the ground that Kelly had the jump on him. And of course, once the ball hits those two hands, well, the thing's there for keeps.
So for his third, and this to bring it back to 13 points. Kicking from just over 40 metres. Stuart Lowe's accuracy this season is certainly vastly improved. He's got three.
And confidence is a fantastic thing with goal kicking. Stu, of course, has worked on it over the last few years, and now he gets the ball within the 50-metre arc, and he thinks he's going to kick it. We probably think he's going to kick it, and his accuracy this year has been very good. He's a very reliable kick for goal, and a very reliable target. They've shifted him out, St Kilda, probably 30 or 40 metres from goal, because really they haven't had trouble getting it deep in.
Nathan Burke looks as though he may have a tagging role now on Nathan Buckley. But a bit of precision shown there by Darren Burke. Oh, and he's into the action again. That tackle by Burns on Darren Burke. He's kicked to the middle of the ground for Sierakowski. Set Lowe's last goal up. And his kick this time in the low direction is equally as good. It just makes it that little bit more difficult for the defender if he can kick it to the, well, into the path of the leading forward.
You're absolutely right, Robbo, but not too many players other than Stuart Lowe or Tony Lockett would have taken that. He got the front position, but Kelly got there. It's just the strength to jump and hold it. I mean, really, it's a great mark. The kick gave him a chance, but I reckon Lockett made it a mark. Lowe, I should say.
Well, he's an entertaining player in the AFL, Stuart Lowe. Certainly a lot of the fans here would be just licking their chops at watching him with his goal-kicking achievements tonight. This is another good kick for distance, not for accuracy. And 3 goals, 3 against his name. So the behinds ledger is level. Collingwood lead by 2 goals. Paul Williams to kick it in. A little bit of indecision. Now he decides to go long outside 50 to a one-on-one situation, and that was a good bar by Mark Richardson in front of Vidovic. He's at left half back, outside 50 metres, decides to play on. and kicks back towards the centre of the ground.
No mark taken. Harvey reads it well, gives it off to Nathan Burke, who flicks it up towards right half forward. That's a delightful kick too. He's found Aussie Jones. Jones towards Lowe again. Kelly gets there this time. Lowe tries to keep it in play, but paddles it back towards Kelly. He loses it to Schäuble. They pounce upon him. That was Daniels. Everett bends it back. Oh, look at this! Gee, he almost produced a miraculous goal, Luke.
I think it might have actually almost gone through if the Collingwood defenders, of course, hadn't been there to block its progress and force it through for a point. But I think it was doing the left-hand turn. Still, ifs don't really count.
No. Scotty Burns diving over the line. 6-5 plays 8-4. So when Collingwood threatened to really blow this game apart, St Kilda has hit back hard. Brown floats across the back and takes a timely mark. Collingwood veteran of 168 games. From half back, it's a high kick going in towards the middle. Justin Peckett will tidy up at the back for St Kilda. And with some 7 minutes or so remaining in the half, St Kilda would love another couple, but not with a tackle like that. Gavin Krasiska puts his head back on his neck and goes short to Crow. He can go short once more, finding Scott Burns. Although Stuart Lowe got him. Now this could be very interesting. They can go into the square here. Beveridge, they're screaming for it down there. That's Everett. It looks good towards Peter Everett, but spoiled over the line. And one behind.
Well, last week that would have been a free kick against Burns, wasn't it? I mean, last week we saw in the Fremantle game, and they umpiring changes every week on that holding the ball really. So you're never quite sure, but nevertheless, play on should be the interpretation regardless of what they've been doing recently.
Bit of big off, and Glenn Coghlan coming onto the ground for St Kilda as Graham Wright has it on half back. Well, he heads the long way home, and it may be costly. They're going to have to tidy up, and he will now. The little Tassie Devil dashes clear, goes to the outer side, and Scotty Burns.
It's unbelievable that they got out of trouble there, Collingwood, because that football was nearly in the hands of Everett, but now it's in the hands of Krasiska on centre wing.
Game of inches, Robbo, isn't it?
Yes, my word. Krasiska's kick towards centre half forward, marking contest, and it's Mark Richardson. Well done. He's well within scoring distance. He could have nearly kicked it into the pocket. And it might be Buckley, is it? Just throwing his hands in the air just off to the right from Rocker. But Mark Richardson has decided that he will have a shot for goal. He's kicked one. Just got a slightly awkward kicking style. The player on the mark is inside 45. And that kick holds up nicely. It's a Collingwood goal kicked by Mark Richardson. 2 goals to Richardson, 4 to Buckley. Collingwood just stretched that lead again. 9-4 plays 6-6.
And it's been a good last 5 minutes for St Kilda, and an important goal. I think what it established there, that when you play a guy by the size of Everett in the forward line, the defensive rebound can be a problem when they don't mark the ball, and it was that surge out of Collingwood defence that resulted in that goal.
8 kicks and 5 marks to Mark Richardson and a couple of goals, so he's been busy. Keogh gives it away towards Everett. Flat-looking punt kick up towards the half-forward line, but only as far as Crow, who defends. Back towards centre wing. Look out, Tony Francis. Had the wind taken out of him by Waitland.
It was a severe crash, wasn't it?
Oh, no.
Well, you were coaching last year. What would you have expected that St Kilda player to do? Just stand aside and let the guy take the mark and no body contact?
Yeah, well, it looked fairly instantaneous. I mean, it looked like it was Francis was certainly protecting the ball, and there was certainly plenty of body contact, but with a hard to think it looked late from where I was sitting.
Gee, Everett's kick was ordinary, Sandy. Yeah. That's the big difference. St Kilda, I looked at quarter time, and the possessions, the statistics show that there wasn't much between these two teams. Tony Francis, gee, he's covered in blood, isn't he? That was a pretty heavy knock.
Looks like he's got something on the right side of the head, maybe behind the ear, maybe a
What I was alluding to is just the skill level. You know, Darren Burke a couple of times with precision passes has given Everett the chance to kick a couple of goals. Peter Everett on that opportunity had the chance to deliver to the forward line. There was no pressure on him, and the kick was a shocker.
Krasiska, Alex McDonald, incidentally, is the player who's come onto the ground. Mark Richardson can't keep it in play, and it sails over with 4.5 minutes remaining. It's 58 playing 42 in Collingwood's favour.
So the Magpies, just with you'd only call it a slight advantage. We've got about 5 minutes left in the first half. Mark Richardson forces it forward inside 50, bashed clear by Robert Neal for another boundary throw in. This time it's inside 50 as far as Collingwood is concerned. So the game really not achieving tremendous intensity. Collingwood just with the advantage, and every time St Kilda seem to get to within a reasonable margin, there's a free kick being picked out. It's going to St Kilda.
Oh.
And a Collingwood player has been dumped and the kick has been reversed. So Peter Everett, I would say that bench is being warmed for you right now. You could have a stretch and your ears might be red. Kick towards full forward. Taken by Burns. Krasiska. I think Gavin Krasiska, a wry smile on his face. I think his thoughts would have been good, but the execution, not what he desired. Sierakowski kicks it down the wing, and it's allowed to just trundle over as we have a look at Tony Francis. Have a look at that. The blood still streaming from that gash over his right ear. And Dipper, Tony Francis.
Yes, Robbo, he is a little bit shaken up, and they're just stitching him up at the moment. It's just a slight cut to his head there.
Throw in, left half forward. Beveridge at the bottom of the pack. Burns is over the top of him. We'll have another bounce. With Collingwood leading by 16 points. Richardson and Sierakowski. Won by Richardson. Williams has dash and plenty of it. What's his kick like? Into full forward. Rocker got a hand to it. Couldn't quite just bring it down to then try and soccer it through. And they're behind the result.
And I think it all came from the ruck work of Mark Richardson, who basically St Kilda have decided to go one-on-one and leave Everett in the ruck on Francis and Sierakowski on Mark Richardson. But the ruck work ability of Richardson is going to really trouble a Sierakowski-sized player.
Shanahan gives it to Burke. Nathan Burke goes towards half forward. Schäuble was the mighty flyer. Poked it down towards Crowe, who goes to the outer side, and Gavin Krasiska looks towards McDonald, and he takes the mark on centre wing.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nathan Burke, he may not have had many possessions himself, but he certainly kept Buckley out of it. Buckley's now 10-2 with 4 goals. He was something like 8-2 with 4 goals at quarter time. So Nathan Burke manning up nicely on Nathan Buckley. The kick to half forward, knocked forward by Mark Richardson. Graham Wright, not the pace of old. Hook kick, does score, but just a behind for the Magpies. Maybe Graham Wright has lost a yard of pace.
He's had bad feet over. He had bad feet over the years. He's had a lot of sort of physical problems over the years, and maybe just lost that half a yard of real acceleration that he had a few years ago.
Pecker kicks in.
I still wouldn't like to be chasing him, I've got to tell you that.
No, that's fair enough. Just didn't quite get into the clear with that kick. Beveridge from centre half back. A high kick. 1-on-4. Collingwood outnumbering magnificently, but St Kilda, gee, that little tap by Joel Smith was quite critical. Didn't get it clear of Scott Burns. And now Burns is being penalised. Well, I was giving him a rap for making a terrific effort. Burke's kick is a wobbly punt kick. Don't think the forwards enjoy sitting underneath those. Crowe harassed by Aussie Jones. Aussie Jones over the top. Was that tackle high? 2 of the youngsters of the caper, Scott Crowe and Aussie Jones. The umpire will bounce quite near the St Kilda goal.
And that's when they'd be cursing the shape of that ball, Robbo. It just refuses to sit.
Well, that's the one constant we've had in the game, isn't it? That oval-shaped ball.
Yep, Schäuble, but Anderson now off to Harvey. Keogh tucked on the boundary line. They need a sensational goal, and they've got it, St Kilda. Rodney Keogh kicks his first for the night, and they stay in touch lead.
Yes, Keogh back on the ground after really being run off by Nathan Buckley in the first half, but it was a good goal. And so they desperately need, they're back in the game now. I think really the St Kilda are doing okay in their forward 50, and they're doing okay in that defensive area. If they can just get more of the ball midfield, at the moment that's where Collingwood are beating them.
Well, not a lot in this game, and an important possession here at the centre. Collingwood get out of it. Sharkey's left foot kick towards the 50-metre line. It bounces. Knocked forward by Richardson was brilliant. Rocker dragged down by Coughlin, didn't have the football, and the umpire gives the all clear for a boundary throw in. And a minute left. In the first half, Collingwood by 2 goals. Mark Richardson in the background there. Ruck work being done by the full forward and the full back for their respective teams. Rocker and Shanahan. Young and Williams. Kicked out by Daniels, not quite far enough. Brown desperate. And the St Kilda boys go in over the top to lock it up 50 metres from the Collingwood goal. I guess St Kilda would be, well, pretty happy if they can just keep this score as it is now.
It's been a good quarter. I mean, Collingwood got the fly, got that, and St Kilda fought their way back into it. So this last minute here is critical to keep in touch.
Yes, 45 seconds remaining. They certainly don't want to give away another one. Harvey floats it. Darren Burke was held then, but so too was Francis for Collingwood. So Graham Wright plays on. Gets caught by Trianides. Is able to give the hand pass away, and it's okay over to Pitt. Forward they go through McDonald. It's a high kick. They need a mark. Richardson gave a bit of a push, but the ball is going to be paid to Sierakowski. Off to Burke, to the outer side. And receiving plenty of attention was Joey McLaren, but he's okay. Watson on the mark. McLaren comes back to Sierakowski. He's at half back. Rocker gives chase, but he gets his kick. Up over the centre, over the head of Lowe, and they've been able to hang on and prevent Collingwood from scoring another at half-time here at the MCG. Stuart Lowe, you can see in picture, has 3 goals. He kicked 2 in the first and 1 in the second, whilst for Collingwood, Nathan Buckley, although well held by Nathan Burke in that second quarter, kicked 3 goals in the first and started off with 1 in the second. So he has 4 for the match as Tony Shaw makes his way down. Collingwood in that term beaten 3-3 and outscored by St Kilda by 1-1 as the umpire has a quiet word with Stuart Lowe there. The MCG, it's Collingwood by 12 points in the special reenactment game. Laser Vidovic and Damien Monkhorst. Damien Monkhorst wins it, but who'll take it out of the centre? It's pushed wide towards the wing. McDonald picks it up and floats it to half forward, but a strong mark taken by Peckett. Justin Peckett swings it back over the centre wing area once again, and Joel Smith takes the mark. Has a look down to half forward. They get the first one. Sierakowski can kick a football, and he goes long and low in towards the said man.
Oh dear.
And he just stands like a rock.
I think it's super glue on his hands.
Well, there's something, I think.
If it touches his hands, he just takes it. It was Gavin Krzyzka must have almost got a fingernail on the ball anyway, and but he just has an amazing ability to touch the ball, and he just marks it.
Looks like a junior footy in his hands, doesn't it?
Yeah, 7th mark. He's already booted 3. And this to make it a 6-point ball game.
Goes about his business in a very nonsensical manner, doesn't he, Stuart Lowe?
Yep. True professional. From 42 metres. Swings back, and he's kick number 4. So the Saints are back in business. 9-6 plays 8-6.
Well, it always is a critical goal when a fairly close game, the first goal at the start of the third quarter. Collingwood get it, they're 3 in front, but now St Kilda have got to within 6 points, and the game's right in the balance. And I don't know whether it was a good kick. It was a kick into the forward line, and Lowe made it a good kick and marked it. But he really is a very strong player.
So the umpire about to restart play. Damien Monkhorst, he was revved up by Tony Shaw just before the start of play in the second half, but Vidovic gets his left hand to it, can't clear the congestion. Curran tries to knock it forward. Now Darren Burke gives it away. He was on his right side, so he gave it to the natural right footer Harvey. Harvey's kick to half forward has been well marked by Shawball. Shawbull, just a youngster in games played, but growing in stature for the Collingwood club. Across half back, he kicks down towards the wing. It missed everybody. Pitt beaten for it by Nathan Burke, gathered by Anderson, down to Nathan Burke. Little kick is all right. That's much more precise, and the mark has been taken by Coughlin. He goes in towards the half-forward region. Darren Burke just loping after the football, close to the line. Gathered by Sierakowski, gets it back to Darren Burke. Maybe St Kilda a little lucky there. The umpire allowed play to go on. They missed their target again with a hand pass. Monkhorst doesn't miss and finds Krasiska. So Collingwood can breathe a little easier. St Kilda mounting an assault there, but a couple of hand passes missing their target. Krasiska, his kick back in the Pitt direction, taken by Harvey. Gets the hand pass in the direction of Peckett. Confidently tries to break the tackle. Gets it wide now for Neal. Hand pass to Anderson. Anderson kicks it in towards full forward, but Monkhorst gets back and helps out the last line of defence, marked safely. Oops. Oh, very ordinary kick. This turnover might be costly. He's a clever player, Joel Smith, but he hits the post. Well, that was an important kick there for St Kilda. Joel Smith's poster brings the Saints to within 5 points.
Yes, it's a bad turnover. You can't afford to give the ball away in the defensive 50, and really Collingwood had a let-off then.
Big Monkey breathing a sigh of relief. Nathan Buckley, an excellent first quarter, then Nathan Burke has done the job since then. Strong mark by Lazavidovic. St Kilda starting this second half in fine fashion. They've kicked the first goal. Another one here, although Aussie Jones is going nowhere. Locking it up with Craig Kelly. Francis is coming back out onto the ground. That's good news for Collingwood. Straight on to Darren Burke. He's a tough little nut, though, is Tony Francis. Now, Sierakowski. Across to Vidovic from 55 metres. He tried to kick it 75, but he goes to the pocket. Everett should have, but didn't take the mark. Sharkey tidies up for Collingwood on Williams on the outer side. May run out of room. Jason Daniels over the line. Throw in as Williams picks himself up and just reminds Daniels that he's there. Perhaps he caught one on the head that he didn't enjoy too much.
You would suggest that Jason Daniels is probably getting on Paul Williams' nerve at the moment, wouldn't you?
Well, maybe a little too much, because he's got the...
Well, in the finish, it was a rubbish free kick.
Couldn't get the mouth guard out quick enough.
The umpires don't like you playing body to body, do they?
No. Into the middle. Vidovic caught. Ball spilled free, and Laser does well to flick it towards Anderson, off to Burke, back to Anderson. To full forward now. Everett and Lowe. No, play on, says the umpire. They all stop because Stuart Lowe, likewise, thought he had it, but Scotty Burns is away to the outer side.
Now an important bounce here. It just keeps on bouncing end on end away from Krasiska, when normally you would back it maybe to sit up and the Collingwood player could have nearly run away with it. But we'll have another look at Lowe. I didn't think it was a mark, really. I thought Shawbull got in there. And
everybody else seemed to think it was a mark, but I think it probably was play on.
It's a pity that St Kilda didn't have any crummers back there. They were just both the tall players. Sierakowski doing the ruck work. Harvey just getting into it a little bit now. A couple of creative little hand passes. Darren Burke off his left foot in towards full forward. Monkhorst, Lowe, left foot snap by Stuart Lowe. It'll be marked by Everett. He'll go back and kick the goal. He looked a little excited, as if he was going to try and play on and just toe poke it through, but he's going to go back and have a shot from the square.
This for St Kilda to lead.
I think it's important that Robert Harvey, as the match progressed, Chris Curran started very well on him and was even probably a better player in the first quarter, but as the game has progressed, Robert Harvey, now up to 19 possessions, has started to be a very good midfielder, and St Kilda now are going well.
Everett kicks his third goal and is becoming an important player, because he's just, you mentioned about him being the extra tall and Collingwood having problems on that full back line.
Well, he has to be a goal kicker, because once the ball hits the ground, Shawbull's mobility is really going to provide all the defensive rebound for Collingwood, so Everett probably should play close to goal and make it a real overhead contest.
So St Kilda lead by a point. They're 9-7, Collingwood are 9-6. Vidovic doing well in the centre ruck duels. Daniels a little too severe there for Darren Burke with a hand pass. Vidovic and Burke. Nathan Burke. His kick towards half forward has been strongly marked. Eyes only for the football. Scott Burns, well done.
What a turnaround in this game, and 50 metres. Collingwood led by 25 points. Some 8 minutes into the second quarter, and one wondered then what was going to happen. Well, now we know. St Kilda has hit back, but Collingwood looks certain to answer through Saverio Roca.
Those 50 metres costly. I mean, St Kilda have got all the momentum. Really, probably Burke was a little unlucky not to get a free kick down the field anyway. But a 50-metre back, kick to the leading player. Roca runs into the ball, has the chance to get Collingwood back in front.
And this could blow a fair bit of wind out of St Kilda's sails. From 49 metres. He's a lovely kick. That's no exception. There's 2 goals that both come from that end. 10-6 plays 9-7.
Well, all of a sudden, at the moment, the midfield momentum has pushed St Kilda's way. There was a good kick and a good lead out into space, and really Shannon had no chance. But Burke's controlling Buckley at the moment. Daniels is doing okay on Williams, and Harvey's starting to get away from Cohen. So St Kilda doing well in the midfield.
Gee, it was a lovely kick, wasn't it, by Sav Roca for his second goal. Collingwood lead again by 5 points. Monkhorst, his kick was brilliantly smothered by Keogh. Harvey gets it to Keogh. Keogh's kick, a wobbly one. That should nearly be a free kick, shouldn't it, to Watson?
Yeah.
It is being paid eventually. Maybe the whistle had have been blown, but just a couple of seconds went by. No, Nathan, don't get too excited, because there's a free kick about 50 metres back towards your attacking 50-metre line, and it'll be taken by Shane Watson for Collingwood. Nathan Buckley, 10 kicks and 2 handballs, 4 goals, and nearly all of them came in the first quarter. Siska looking to play on, but the umpire having nothing to do with that. So it'll go back to Watson to start all over again. His kick is a high, long drop punt towards the half-forward line. Little push out by Mark Richardson. Gee, allowed to go on by the umpire. Rocket tried a one-hander. Kick off the ground by Williams. It'll go. Not quite far enough for Collingwood fans. Helped over for a rush behind in the finish by Jamie Shanahan.
And all of a sudden you can see a 50-metre penalty, a probably bad free kick here, and the momentum swung back Collingwood's way. Really, it's a game of keeping your composure when you have a chance.
Daniels, Young, Pickett and Coe, and now Shanahan to the outer side. They've got the runners there. Harvey, Pickett, who's followed it down. A chance to run the outer wing. Curran's there with him, and he gives chase. But he's got assistance in the form of Dean Anderson. A high drop punt. Krasiska shows courage. Going back with the flight of the ball. Takes a timely defensive mark. Comes towards Alex McDonald. Now Collingwood have a chance to split them open at the seams. Paul Williams. It's a real dynamo when he gets going. On to McDonald. Suddenly in towards the forward pocket. And Damien Monkhorst.
That's the difference. When Collingwood had possession, they found their targets. When Anderson got it on the other side, just bombed it away, and Krasiska mopped up.
Yes, Anderson's high floater was difficult, but then again, Monkey's kick on that occasion, a little short. So St Kilda through Glenn Coghlan start the chain going again, or do they? It bounces off the chest of Robert Neal, but Shanahan is there to assist. Towards centre wing, Krasiska with a double-fisted spoil over the back. Waiting down is Watson. He chips to left half forward. Nathan Buckley. Well, Nathan Burke's done an excellent job on him since quarter time. This is kick number 11. Puts them inside 50 once more. Strong mark by Saverio.
In the old, how tall would Rocker be? Is he about 6'5"?
6'4" to 6'5". Might not be quite 6'5", but pushing towards that. He's a big, strong man. He can leap as well. And if he gets the front position, he's allowed to jump at the mark. Then he's a very, very good player.
Rocker for his third. and he kicked Collingwood's last steadier. He's floated that across the face for one behind. So his conversion rate tonight, Robbo, stands at?
I would suggest 2 goals, 1. So you could work the rate out for yourself, Sandy. 68 plays 61, Collingwood lead. And Darren Burke, he's getting a few possessions actually. Started on the bench. Nathan Burke, hand pass, got his target. Anderson running in support as Harvey. Harvey looking for a player in short, and he finds that player. It's Aussie Jones. Had a second grab at it, but Aussie's got it. He's had a spell on the bench. He goes in towards half forward. Coughlin go for it. No. Determination by Crow, one out on the day. Hand pass to Kelly. Kelly goes down the ground. Gavin Brown didn't take the mark, but he was paid. Player just arriving a little late was Young. The kick to the pocket. Francis further down the ground. Inside 50 for the Magpies. The mark is taken by Sharkey. He plays on again, and Francis is marked. Collingwood fans screaming for a 50-metre penalty, which would have been taken right in front because that incident there happened inside 50. Have another look here, and Tony Francis making it look a little worse. Oh, that's a very ordinary effort. I don't think Darren Burke would like to have another look at that. He wasn't really under extreme pressure, and he's kicked it out on the full. So a free shot at goal being provided here for Collingwood by Paul Sharkey. He's well within scoring distance, but just off to the right is the fence. So the angle very tight. He kicks to the front of the square. Monkhorst, it's punched away. He tries to recover his position. Opportunity for Rocker. He leaves it behind. Buckley scrambles a left foot snap high in the air. Monkhorst, Vidovic, Rocker, and Nathan Burke knocks it clear for a throw in. Left forward pocket for Collingwood. The Magpies lead. They're 10-8. St Kilda are 9-7. The margin 7 points, and we're 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
Monkhorst with the right hand. Peckett waiting down in front for St Kilda. From the back pocket, Justin Peckett bounced his way a couple of times to half back. Then another high floating kick. A couple of Magpies there, Francis and also Kelly. Craig Kelly is furious, but the football has gone against him, and it's gone to Stuart Lowe. He's a long way from home. Kicks towards right half forward. Big pack of players are just floating across his Francis to take the mark. To Gavin Brown. The veteran skipper finds Krasiska running into Trianides. Flicks it back in towards the centre. They're starting to run now, Collingwood again. That was beautifully done. Rocker has kicked 2, both from that end.
St Kilda's kicking into their half-forward line has just let them down really badly, and that's really been the difference. And the momentum has changed so much since that 50-metre penalty, and Collingwood, once they get free, are just rebounding the ball out of their defence. The St Kilda tall forwards aren't able to chase or pressure.
Great kick by Curran to give it to Rocker, to give him the chance of his 3rd and his 30th for the season. So after leading by a point, St Kilda now looking at a 13-point deficit if he flicks this one through, but he doesn't. He's away to the right.
Just amazing how the momentum's changed since that 50-metre penalty. That one incident has changed the whole complexion of the game.
I can tell you his conversion rate now, if you like. 50%. He's got 2 goals from 4 shots.
I knew you'd get it. I knew you'd get it, Robbo.
Oh, yeah, you had to ask me when he kicked 2 goals, 1 too, didn't you?
Burke, Harvey, Anderson, tucked in the back pocket. Nathan Burke again. Into the old practice wicket area.
Oh, well done in the finish.
Yes, it was Burke, and it was also Matthew Young. Nathan Burke is still running. Floats it over the centre, up to right half forward. A big pack of players there. It comes out the back door, courtesy of Lowe. Jack Daniels got a bad bounce. He's got to go back and get it. And he does. Nicely done. Now they've got an opportunity here to Stuart Lowe. He may have given away the free kick. Took him too high.
very frustrating if you stand Els at the moment, I think, because they're really just very sloppy in that giving the ball to each other in that area of the ground.
Kelly's upholding his shoulder as Francis sends Collingwood into attack. Buckley did it well. Now look out here, Monkey. He's got it. He's so dangerous in front of goal, Nathan Buckley. That is number 5. 11-9 plays 9-7.
I think Nathan Buckley actually has gone into pretty much a permanent forward now, which is making Nathan Burke go and play as a defender, which isn't what St Kilda want. They'd like Burke in the midfield, but the thing is, you can't have everything your own way, and Buckley was doing so well early that St Kilda had to curb his influence, and Burke's done that, but now drawn into defence.
It's amazing, isn't it? Damien Moncourse there, if he was a defender, he would have been telling the goal umpire that he touched it, Sandy. But because he's a forward, he's saying, I didn't touch that, it's a goal to Buckley. And that's the way it was registered on the scoreboard. This is young for St Kilda. Left foot kick into the forward line. Gathered by Beveridge, handballs it away from himself. Burns kept hold of his jumper. So you probably have to say that Luke Beveridge played that pretty well in the finish. He's got the free kick. Deep at left half forward for the Saints. Perhaps a little bit too much predictability about St Kilda's forward moves. Seem to look for the two big blokes, and then if they can't get it, there's nothing much else happening down there. Darren Burke's kick in the direction of Lowe, taken by Matthew Francis. Ozzie Jones tries to dive on it. He's got the ball underneath there, tackled by Schauble. And the umpire will call for a bounce just wide of centre half forward for the Saints.
I think those St Kilda little blokes just have to dive in harder at that ground level ball. I just don't think they're pushing hard enough at those crumbing positions. The Collingwood players are doing that better.
Well, within scoring distance for St Kilda, Traianides, Joel Smith, can he scramble a kick? He can. It's bouncing close to the line. Luke Beveridge, it runs away from him, through for a behind to the Saints when they could have badly done with a goal. McLaren in the middle of the three interchange players there for St Kilda. Collingwood 11-9, leads St Kilda 9-8. And we've got 6 minutes left in the third term.
Kelly appears to be okay. Seemed to be favouring a shoulder just a few minutes ago. Williams will head towards Graham Wright. It had to be spot on, and it was, because Peter Havert had the height.
Free kick to St Kilda.
Will come back, but gee, Gavin Brown is fearless. He was running with the flight of that ball and could have been charging straight into them. Sirakowski, speaking of chancing his arm, Crow went dashing through, trying to spoil the Saints party. Buckley, a fierce tackle. Sirakowski away with the football. He goes to half forward, but kicks blindly. And the mark taken with no pressure at all by Scotty Burns. So Watson on the outer side. Kicks towards centre wing, Sharkey. Collingwood now deep into attack. Gavin Krasisco will put them inside 50 with a long drop punt. Rocker is there, Monkey is there. Rocker at the back. Richardson keeps it in for Monkey. He floats a high one in towards the square, but it's fisted over the line. No score. A throw in left forward pocket.
St Kilda have affected a change from their big man area. Vidovic onto the ground, and Everett is having a spell. Sandy.
Thanks, Robbo. Well, danger time here for St Kilda, with the Pies deep in their attacking zone. Anderson a chance to clear. Wobbles one towards Jack Daniels territory. Sharkey right on his hammer. Daniels at the second attempt. Well, he's gone. Beautifully tackled. Well, high, said the umpire. That's Chris Mitchell. Nathan Buckley's just seeing if he's okay to come round for tea. Almost on Sunday night. Daniels
might have
takes
given
it
his
away.
Brownlow medal chances a bit of a dent there too by bluing with the umpire over that decision. Once the whistle's gone, it's they don't really change it. Graham Wright's left foot kick towards half forward. Gee, a scramble there by David Sirakowski looked rather ordinary, but he's going to get a free kick. It's perhaps not his free kick. It may go back to Peckett, and Peckett for St Kilda. Just looking a little sloppier, the Saints, than the Magpies. And it's showing on the scoreboard. That's a good kick this time, though. Beveridge is in the middle of the ground. He's kicked towards the full forward area. Kelly and Lowe. Lowe first to recover. Kicks it towards the front of the square. Who can run onto this? Oh, kicked by Beveridge. It is a miraculous goal for St Kilda. Well, maybe that's what the Saints need, something like that. Fantastic performance there by Luke Beveridge to get St Kilda's 10th goal, and it is back to a 7-point game.
Well, to say that was a critical goal. And Beveridge started, he somehow lost Burns and got alone in the centre square and kicked it to low, but then was able to push forward and just slightly get there early. Good goal. St Kilda desperately needed that, and back in the game now.
So Luke Beveridge's first goal. And what a timely one for the Saints. A 7-point ball game as Francis wins it, but it's taken away by Robert Harvey. A typical burst out of the centre to Nathan Burke on centre wing. Saints had the momentum in this quarter, then lost it due to a couple of silly errors. Maybe that goal will help them regain it. Goes across the ground to a man who loves to run, Justin Peckett. One bounce and he's down to the centre, and he's suddenly put them inside 50 to Lowe. Edged out of it? No, said the umpire. Oh, Watson, what have you done to Chinese? He's goal! A point the difference.
Well, they certainly won't lie down, St Kilda. There's been this type of game that's flowing backwards and forwards, and Everett's been taken off the ground now. Shawble's now loose man defence, but a bad handball error gave Traianides, who's been a very quiet player, the chance to kick the goal. And St Kilda keep coming, but they haven't quite been able to sort of hit the front or get that goal or so clear. But it's fairly much even Stevens now.
Monkey on the bench. 1 point the difference. A vital 3 minutes or so. Vidovic out of the middle. Can't take it cleanly, but Burke accepts the hand pass and he pumps it long. Stuart Lowe's getting in position. A couple come across and fist it clear from him. McDonald's waiting down for Collingwood. Now they go up towards their 50, the Pies. No mark taken, plucked off the top and belted wide. Here's Crow, 40 metres out. A drop punt by Scotty Crow is good.
Again, the ability of the Collingwood defence. I mean, they know that St Kilda are going to kick the ball to Lowe. It's the ability of the Collingwood defenders to leave their opponents to get across to spoil, as Krzyzka did, that set up the forward punch back to McDonald, Flurry on the half-forward line, Scott Crow, and a nice left-foot finish.
Great tap over by Mark Richardson.
So Collingwood hit back. A goal kicked by Scott Crow. They lead again by 7 points. It's 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Gavin Brown tackled by Keogh. Ball spills for Young. Young's kick finds Daniels. Looks to play on. Handball over the top, Harvey. What can Robert Harvey make of this? He loves to run with the football. He gets it near half forward and then kicks to full forward. Is it a kick down the ground? Now, what's been happening? A Collingwood player may have been held with the intended shepherd. It's Shawble's free kick against Sierakowski, and I thought I saw the umpire indicating that he was maybe holding onto his jumper. Shawble's kick lands quite near half forward. Mark Richardson just delayed that hand pass beautifully for Curran in towards full forward. It beats both players there for Collingwood. Anyway, the second player was Rocker. Away went Shanahan. Bad fumble. Daniels goes after it again to try and recover his position, and at least holds it up. Left half forward for the Magpies, about 55 metres from the Collingwood goal.
They're trying hard St Kilda, but their ball handling skills, they're just fumbling those key balls.
Look at those
certainly running the ball. St Kilda certainly trying to run the ball.
36-9. Couple of minutes remaining. Vidovic with the right hand. Brown showed desperation. Williams, as always, and a free kick because it was too high, said Chris Mitchell.
When you see a player like Jason Daniels look anxiously at the umpire, you can sort of feel as though is he looking a bit guilty?
Sort of a polite question. Me? Have I done anything wrong? Yes, too high. Richardson. Well, we chatted with Dad at half-time, and he's obviously very proud of his son, and well, he may be. He's done a good job tonight. 10 kicks, 7 marks, kicked a couple of goals.
and can kick the distance if he hits it and times it okay.
7 points is the margin at the moment, Lee. He's 55 from home. Well, he's really gone for distance, and in doing so has pulled that a bit to the left. One behind. His first blemish on the scoreboard, 2-1. 12-10 plays 11-8. And it's Nathan Burke stabbing beautifully to Shanahan at half-back. Call to play on now is Jamie Shanahan. And he lopes to the outer side. And another free kick being given away by St Kilda for an illegal push. So Richardson again finds Sharkey.
Fairly soft.
He's 80 metres from home. Goes in towards the pocket region. Rocker! Francis over the line.
The key turnover possessions, and we can name about 4 or 5 this quarter, where the Shepherd mistake, a few things like that for St Kilda that are just turning the ball round, going back the other way when they've got the flow of play.
Dipper House, Peter Everett.
No, he's not too good at the moment, Sandy. They've been working on him for about 5 minutes. They're trying to get him onto the ground desperately, so we won't expect to see him until three-quarter time. I mean, last quarter.
Shanahan. Short to Keogh.
Keogh looking to play on, eventually does so. Little misunderstanding there between Robert Neal and Nathan Burke, but the Saints able to get out of trouble. Burke's kick to the wing. Joel Smith beaten pointlessly by Shane Watson. Watson has the mark on centre wing. Little short kick, sets it up for Crow. Crow runs away and then kicks long in the direction of Rocker. Rocker out in front, couldn't take the mark, chipping in. St Kilda defence punch it away. No score. The siren has sounded to end the third term. And going into the last quarter, Collingwood have an 8-point advantage. They lead 12-10 to 11-8. Nathan Buckley has kicked 5 goals for the Magpies, and for St Kilda 4 to Lowe and 3 to Everett.
And a fantastic then by, I think it too was it Anderson, who cut across when Rocker had the front position, and that's the kind of just courage to cut across the front of the leading full forward. Was able to repel that last few seconds of play. But St Kilda are playing well, but they're just making that few too many ball handling mistakes. But they look like they're running the game out a little bit harder, and if they can remedy those and just hold possession of the ball, well, then the game is right there to be won.
Paul Williams appeared to be a little proppy as he started to make his way over to the huddle, but looks to be okay as Russell Green, who's now of course working with St Kilda, former player there, and of course a magnificent player for the Hawthorn Football Club. It's three-quarter time, and of course there's another man who's switched clubs. At three-quarter time, Collingwood are 12-10-82, leading St Kilda 11-8-74. What is going to happen in the last quarter here at the MCG on this second reenactment night? We hope you're enjoying it wherever you may be watching it. We're in for a cliffhanger. Traianides picks it up and flicks it out towards Daniels. He got rid of it quickly to Keogh. St Kilda go charging forward. It's Beveridge, a chip, and it's going to be effective to Ozzie Jones. Ozzie fires a goal, and St Kilda have made a mighty start.
Gee, I think they were a little lucky. I'd say that Jason Daniels' little hand pass back in the middle of the ground, he was lucky the umpire was on the other side of the play.
Yes, I think you're right, Rob. I think it was the umpire was caught on the blind side and didn't see it was an ineffective hand pass, but it was really a hustle the ball forward. Really a lot of quick little hand passes under pressure, and eventually Ozzie Jones found the space.
Two of the youngsters there, Sandy, Scott Crow and Ozzie Jones.
82 plays 80 though. What a start to this final quarter, and it's Nathan Burke who rips it out of the middle for St Kilda. Down towards Big Hands. He can't mark it, but he plays on Stuart Lowe, pushing the ball along in front. He runs out of support, and Crow defends. He almost threw that over the top to Watson, who's more than happy to see it go over the line for a throw-in in the back pocket. Pressure now on the Pies from their bench to those out on the ground.
Patterson, Russell and Matthew Francis having a spell on the bench for Collingwood. At least one of them, we are aware, is fairly well restricted in his movement. Burns for the Magpies, trying to break clear, but underneath that pile of players there is a football.
And Graham Wright has been shifted on to Robert Harvey. He's done the job reasonably successfully in the past. Harvey just started to get away from Curran during that second and third quarter.
Coughlin, Wakelin, and it might have been McLaren. There's a snapshot for goal. It's a goal! St Kilda goal! The bouncing ball on the line, kicked by Stuart Lowe, puts St Kilda in front by 4 points.
Well, I mean, all the momentum all of a sudden has swapped to St Kilda. When the game has got to this stage as before, St Kilda really have just made a couple of bad errors to let Collingwood back into it, but really the work of Burke and Harvey as this game's progressed, and Vidovic's been pretty good in the ruck, so it's been an exceptional effort, and what the fifth goal to Stuart Lowe.
Crowd roaring here now at the MCG. St Kilda leads by 4 points. What a finish. From the middle, it's Williams, Paul Williams, who belts it out of the centre for Collingwood. He wants Severio. He doesn't get him. He gets Jamie Shanahan, and Shanahan defends. Not overly well. Straight to Paul Williams again.
Again, the turnover, and the non-pressure turnover is costing St Kilda.
Williams, he's outside 50. He's had 12 kicks, taken a couple of marks, and had a couple of hand passes. Stephen Pitt drops back in the square. He goes short though, drifting it into the pocket. Rocker was his target. Daniels keeps it in play. Harvey comes across the ground towards Lazar Vidovic, and Vidovic will steady things down, the big man.
He's still in his defensive 50 zone. Kicks out towards the wing, and a good mark taken by Trianides. He kicked the goal towards the end of the third quarter. May have lifted his confidence. Not too many touches. Not a bad kick on this occasion. Gets quite close to half forward, but a good mark taken by Andrew Shawball in front there of Everett. He kicks it down the wing. Brilliantly gathered by Williams. Tries to get around onto his right foot. The kick is nicely weighted and finds Krasiska. Doesn't he like to float down from that full back line, half back line, to get into the play across the middle of the ground, and sometimes even down as far as shooting for goal. He's kicked towards full forward. No mark. Brown tries to swoop on it. Daniels just being that little pest that he is, Jason Daniels. And he's in there again, just burrowing. Sharkey tries to get it clear. Curran dives on it. And the St Kilda defence would be pretty happy with that result. It's a ball up only 35 metres from the Collingwood goal. So the fans here tonight have been treated to a, well, it's been a great struggle between both of these sides. It's already been documented that they've had some tremendous tussles over the years. A lot of one-sided matches, but a lot of close games between St Kilda and Collingwood. That ball hacked out of that congested area, and it goes over for a boundary throw-in. Collingwood fans just looking a little pensive, and they've got reason to be, because St Kilda lead this match. We've got 16 minutes left, but the Saints lead by 4 points.
Vidovic and Richardson. Peckett dropped it. Francis the tackler. Tunnel ball by Vidovic gives Richardson the chance to sneak it clear, but gee, that's a strong mark. They're going to come away against St Kilda. They lead by 4 points. Sirakowski has a look down the ground. He heads towards Beveridge. Just a fraction too far, but there's been a whistle, and it will come back to Beveridge. Got one for his trouble. Luke Beveridge towards the 50, towards Stuart Lowe. Edged out of it by Kelly. Francis paddling towards the line. Sharkey. Tony Francis now. Justin Peckett right on his hammer. Stephen Pitt tried to get it out. Scotty Burns likewise. Francis, they're feeling the pitch now. Harvey close to the line. Anderson keeps it in play. Here goes St Kilda as Ozzie Jones sets up the hand pass, or do they? No, as Trianides looks to the skies, and we look to the Collingwood bench, and a throw-in on centre wing.
Well, all things being equal, that wasn't such a bad play, but Ozzie Jones just went too quickly for Jason Trianides.
Daniels somehow was able to thread that through to Dean Anderson. Anderson towards Lowe again. This time it was Schäuble at the back who was able to spoil, and no one able to run on with the football.
He's in the right place at the right time. He's just a stride too early on both occasions.
He just missed the train.
They caught the early one, Sandy.
4 points the margin. St Kilda leads. in a Dow struggle. No one going anywhere there. Joel Smith standing over the top of Watson as Ronnie Richards, one of the Richards family, with Gubby Allen, looks on.
Gee, Matthew Francis up high, tried to take it out of the air. Sharky's got the football, can't break clear. That's a free kick to St Kilda. The tackle a little high there against Matthew Francis, and it will go to Luke Beveridge.
It's just a question, if you go in low, you keep your head over the ball, there's always a fair chance you'll draw a high tackle, and little Francis could do, and really he just basically was caught a little bit above Beveridge.
So Luke Beveridge, a chance to give St Kilda a 10-point advantage, and he's got it home. Second goal to Beveridge. And St Kilda lead by 10 points.
Yes, again, as we said, it was just Beveridge went at the ball hard at ground level and just basically went in under Francis, and really it wasn't an easy shot, but it was a pretty good conversion, drifted offline, and all the momentum with St Kilda. It's going to take a big effort for Collingwood.
Well, he's one of football's nomads, Luke Beveridge. Melbourne, Footscray, St Kilda. Saints fans are loving his play at the moment because they've got a little bit of a cushion. Tony Francis head down but without the football. Robert Harvey out wide. Joel Smith leads in the race. Does well, the youngster. Seems to have plenty of time. Crowe, a fine diving mark. Full stretch. Scott Crowe. His fifth grab for the evening. But the pressure now right on Collingwood, as Matthew Francis has paid the football. Off he goes to Graham Wright. He's on the defensive side of centre wing. They need the next one badly. Buckley's a flyer from the side. St Kilda have the players waiting down, and Justin Peckett is just the man to run away. A couple of bounces. Suddenly back towards the 50. Towards Lowe. He was in that pack. Couldn't take it. Scotty Burns is there. So too Ozzie Jones. Gavin Krasiska over the top. Not far enough. Low ripped to the ground. By gee, it's on for young and old now, as Crowe just wobbles one towards the line and cools things down.
I think Austin Jones has to learn down there, you can't play it too smart. Sometimes you just got to dive in at the ball. He's just trying to finesse a little bit too much. I know he's lightly built, but St Kilda need him to just really charge at the ball a few times.
Boundary throw in, right half forward for St Kilda. Collingwood get it away from that area, and that kick is out on the full from Alex McDonald. So the free kick down in front of the commentary area, centre wing, will be taken for St Kilda by Justin Peckett. Boundary umpire just coming down to indicate to Tony Francis that he has to come back a metre or two. Peckett quite happy to thump it back to within 50 metres of the St Kilda goal. And some desperate stuff shown there by McDonald to force it over for another throw in. It's just inside 50 metres, and there's some tension there. The St Kilda coach Stan Alves, I wonder what that message was. It wasn't let's go and have a cup of tea after the game, fellas.
Here's Vidovic. Oh, well smothered by Curran. Push through towards Francis. He'll need to thread it to right, and he does. Oh, stolen. Beautifully stolen by Ozzie Jones. Coming back. Oh, Ozzie, you've done it. Second goal to Jones, and maybe, just maybe, the one that can do it for St Kilda late.
Yes, well, it's going to make a big effort for Collingwood because really they got all the momentum, and this was just a hand passing error from Graham Wright. Tried to feed the ball on. Ozzie Jones read it, intercepted it, and good left foot goal. I mean, it's a fair margin, 16-point margin. The way the game's been going, very good for St Kilda.
St Kilda on a roll at the moment. They've kicked the last 4 goals. And a case of catch us if you can. Francis and Co. will certainly try and do that. Over the head of Buckley. It comes back towards Buckley and Nathan Burke. Now Rocker claim. Williams lost out towards Daniels. Now the St Kilda defence standing firm. Anderson couldn't take the mark. It was belted over the line for a throw-in by Sharkey, but Tony Shaw, his side at one stage leading by 25 points, Now Robbo looking down the barrel.
It would have to be St Kilda's greatest lead, wouldn't it?
Yes.
I mean, they've trailed for most of the night.
Yes, it is.
And now to lead by 16 points, and as Lee has already said, they really have the momentum. So Collingwood desperately need to kick the next goal. Mark Richardson tries to get rid of his opponent in that ruck contest. Tony Francis, well, I suppose in the context of the game, Scott Russell coming off the ground with a hamstring injury and Tony Francis being belted rather severely at the end of the second term has cost them.
Off the ball, Robert Harvey has somehow got onto Gavin Brown back in the goal square for Collingwood's goal square. I don't think they'd want him back there.
A free kick out of the ruck contest, and it looks as though it's going to Collingwood, and it'll be taken by Mark Richardson. So Collingwood, this kick will certainly land the ball close to the square. Rocker recovers, left foot snap is a goal for the Magpies. Well, the predictable thing for Rocker probably was to keep going onto his right side. He ducked back onto his left and very skillfully slotted through his third goal.
And it was a good effort, very agile big fellow. He was able to, didn't quite take the mark, almost grabbed it, but he's always got a chance if the ball drops at his feet. But really those ruck free kicks, a little bit doubtful, but went Collingwood's way, and they're back in it.
So 10 points the margin for St Kilda, 11 minutes left, so it's going to be a close finish, one way or the other. Struggle for possession, forward of the centre for the Saints. Sharkey tries to get it clear. Buckley, now Trianides. His left foot kick towards full forward. Lowe and Kelly, the ball spills. Everett tries it off the ground. Missed it altogether when just a slight touch on his boot could have nearly scored.
And this is amazing. Robert Harvey somehow has ended up basically at full back on Gavin Brown. I don't know what I think St Kilda would want him up on the midfield and pushing someone out back there, because it's Harvey's work around the midfield run that's just really turned the game for St Kilda.
Yes, he's right down the other end of the ground as this action is taking place as we speak. It's over the line in the right forward pocket for the Saints. They lead by 10 points, but it doesn't deter the youngsters from waving their flags and having a wonderful night here at the MCG. Everett trying to flick it out the back door, successful. Curran a chance to give the hand pass away. He does to Buckley. It's a high kick in towards Patterson, who was sandwiched between a couple of players. Richardson could have been held. No, said the umpire. Peckett was the player, and now it's Sierakowski. Sierakowski a bounce. Hand pass is not a good one, but it may come off. Lacks of fortune for Joel Smith, maybe. On all fours, now Tony Francis already caught one to the head tonight, but it doesn't stop him burrowing in. Graham Wright under pressure. St Kilda throwing everything at them as they hold this 10-point lead. And eventually a bounce to take place with Andrew Coates coming in.
Now that was a tough pack. No player gave anything then, they just all were at it.
Great stuff. And not out of the danger zone yet as far as Collingwood are concerned. Here goes Lazarevic. A wobbly old one towards Stuart Lowe and Craig Kelly. Lowe keeping the ball in play. His hand pass spills away from Crowe. There's almost an opportunity for Trianides. Collingwood eventually have the numbers. It's Sharkey from half back. He kicks wide towards centre wing. Leading in the race is Stephen Patterson. Patterson keeps on going. Patterson's kick puts them inside 50. They need a mark. No mark taken by Gavin Brown, but he pops it quickly. Back to Patterson. This is fantastic. Scheibel into goal. Scheibel kicks the goal.
Oh, Brown.
Just incredible desperation, wasn't it, by Gavin Brown to come out for the mark, dive on the ball, second effort. Good running by Patterson too. It was his speed on Young that really set it up. And Scheibel has basically been shifted into something of a midfield role, I think now. Pushed up forward and really good finish. So really game's back with him to kick again. Really fantastic soaring game from end to end.
I tell you what, you wouldn't mind watching this passage of play over and over again. A goal to Collingwood, their 14th, kicked by Andrew Scheibel, but it was sensational football. Collingwood win the midfield battle. Buckley can't take it away. Matthew Young, he's played quite a game for St Kilda across that half-back line. His kick to full forward has been marked by Stuart Lowe, and he's within scoring distance.
And again, the long kick forward, Stuart Lowe really, once he gets the front spot, the upward reach, the ability to hold his ground, to keep his opponent away from the ball. Really, Kelly didn't do much wrong, but Lowe in that position is just really unstoppable.
42 goals for the year so far. Going for his 43rd. May not get the distance. It doesn't. It's helped over for a rush behind in the finish to St Kilda. So the margin is 5 points, 14-10, 15-9, and you can see there's 8 minutes left. Glenn Coughlin, who did come into the St Kilda 21 at the expense of Christian Bardsley. He is preparing to come onto the ground. Nathan Buckley, the designated kicker in. Trianides, the ball spills to the back. McLaren gets past, gives it back to Trianides, runs into space, goes for goal! Jason Trianides, magnificent goal! Second goal to Jason Trianides, and it is 11 points now with 8 minutes left. St Kilda's advantage.
Well, he's been a quiet player, Trianides, tonight, but he's kicked a couple of good goals and really thought his way through. I think he's quite a useful half-forward. Hasn't been a good night for him tonight, but obviously that was a critical goal. Proves again, if you kick the ball in long and the opposition gain possession, very easy for them to kick the ball back over your head.
Yes, he didn't mind seeing that sail through as Medico's work on Peter Everett's back. We go back to the centre. There's still time for Collingwood if they're good enough. Sharkey almost handed it to his teammate, but he took it. Some fine mark taken by Peckett. Bursts away, then kicks to the right half forward flank. Crow is there. So too also for St Kilda, Glenn Coughlin, who's been on and off the bench. And a throw in to take place. 71,663 fans here tonight. They haven't been disappointed.
Just not bad, is it? 146,000 in, 72 hours at the G.
I think you might kiss a few records goodbye this weekend, Robbo, because there'll be some packed houses all around the country, particularly in Adelaide and also Brisbane. At the moment, this is Luke Beveridge. Oh, beautifully done for Stuart Lowe. He held it back, he saw his captain leading, and he delivered it beautifully.
Yeah, nice kick, and saw the space. Had to be a very precise pinpoint kick there, where it had to have a very small area of the ground that Lowe was running into, but once he got it out in front and Lowe could come through the line of the ball.
9 marks. Yeah, that was number 9, Lee.
Yes, he's been a very good player.
Kicking for goal, St Kilda fans love it. So they have the answers at the moment. 17-9 plays 14-10, a margin of 17 points.
Yes, it's a good margin now with only 5 or 6 minutes to go. Again, they're taking the ball away from those pack contests in the second half of the game, and they've turned the ball over and given Collingwood a chance. But Lowe kicked 6 goals for tonight, been an excellent target as usual.
Well, he has been some sort of a player, hasn't he? Stuart Lowe. Bounce at the centre, Sharkey. Taken by McDonald, kicks it across his left shoulder to half forward. Just an important touch by the St Kilda player. Set it up for Shawbull in the finish. Shawbull's kick into the pocket, and Shanahan allows it to bounce just inside. So boundary throw in the right forward pocket for Collingwood.
And Shawbull, I think, has been shifted up towards centre half forward for Collingwood when they really had to make some changes to get a bit of momentum back.
So just 6.5 minutes left, and Collingwood need to kick 3 unanswered goals to snatch a victory. Struggle for possession. Francis, Patterson, back onto his right foot. Little kick is all right, but Wright couldn't take the mark. He's going to get run down. He gets his kick, but it's marked by Nathan Burke. He kicks it out into the space for Joel Smith. Very creative young player. Gets back onto his right foot. Switches play a little bit to Darren Burke. Darren Burke's kick into the pocket will be marked. So the young guns for St Kilda coming to the fore. Jason Trianides again. Left foot kick to the goal front. Low! Couldn't take the mark. Beveridge gets it off to Harvey. Snapshot by Harvey is wide, very wide, out on the full. Free kick for Collingwood. And Tony Shaw with Danny Frawley have some concerns.
Under 6 minutes. And well they may, but there's still time. Kelly and Lowe, the two number 23s. And Stuart Lowe, mark number 10. A long way out. He elects to pass and attempts to, but it's taken over the line by Craig Kelly. So a throw in to take place. 17 points the margin. Collingwood early on leading by 25. Right towards centre wing. Well trapped by Matthew Young. Beautifully done. Stuart Lowe will head for home. He bends it back and he's kicked the cellar. Stuart Lowe has 7. St Kilda are home.
You know, well, yes, I think that Matthew Young a rap.
Yes.
He looks, doesn't he? At least he has a look to try and kick it to the advantage when he gathers the ball.
Another ex-Hawthorn player with Hawthorn is struggling, that Matthew Young played well tonight, but I mean, really, just as the game's gone on, I mean, losing Scott Russell and getting a bad knock to Tony Francis has made Collingwood lost most of their run from the midfield.
So with 5 minutes left, St Kilda are going to win this game. No doubt now. They lead by 23 points. They've got all the answers. Vidovic pumps it back to Joel Smith nearly took the mark of the night. Trianides again. Swoops on it. Left foot kick smothered. Good smother by Crow. Handballs towards the boundary line. It won't go there. Aussie Jones, little kick. Oh, Beveridge probably should have taken that. Francis run down by Keogh. Some very fierce tackling. The kick goes back near the half-back area. McDonald couldn't take the mark. Graham Wright, little hand pass. Francis just throws it onto his foot. And punched away there from Shawble by Surakoski. Shawble keeps it in. Brown, back to Shawble. Collingwood force it forward. Shawble's kick is way offline. Into the second row on the full. So the free kick for St Kilda back there to Jamie Shanahan. 4 minutes left. Saints by 23 points.
Shanahan brings it in well. And what a turnaround we've seen. Here's Young again. Finding Keogh. Started the game extremely strongly, did Keogh. To left half forward, Trianides, who's having a big second half, is the young man. Smith. But this time finding Crow. Goes into half-back, Tony Francis. Spent time on the bench with that nasty gash on the head. Comes across the ground. Alex McDonald. He heads towards centre wing. It's academic now as Sharkey takes the mark. In towards half forward, a big pack of players. A tired Tony Francis saw that football head past him. Here's Watson at the back of the pack, swinging it back towards half forward again. 2 St Kilda players flew, just 1 Collingwood. Young waits down. Handball over the top. Williams locked in battle with Burke. That's Darren Burke, wearing 21. Russell Morris, the boundary rider, the fly, having a night off. But no doubt enjoying this as the St Kilda chant goes up here at the MCG and Tony Francis goes over the line. Saints fans pump. It's not the fat lady singing, Robbo, it's a big St Kilda crowd.
Well, it's been a top performance by St Kilda. I think they came in definitely as the underdog, and by winning this game, they're certainly within reach of the 8. I think 4 wins and 3 losses will put them possibly in the 8 after this round. It's been so close down in that area.
This has been a good game. I think this has been a real tight. The Wednesday night game between Essendon and Geelong was a free-flowing game of keepings off. This has just been a real tight, hard contest, and St Kilda and Collingwood have played okay too, I would have thought, but St Kilda really have worked very hard.
Collingwood really falling now into St Kilda's hands by bombing away to the square, and they're just mopping up beautifully now. The Saints playing confident, positive football. Nathan Burke finds Matthew Young at half-back. Kicks down towards the wing. It's taken by Crowe. He's going to kick Collingwood back into attack. He measures the kick beautifully and finds Francis outside 50. Francis for Collingwood. Goes in towards half-forward. Marcus taken by Monkhorst. He's had a quiet night. Lowered his colours. Kick to half-forward. The mark is taken there by Curran, close to the ground. But it's all clear, according to the umpire. So Curran will kick from about 40 metres, maybe a little further. The player on the mark would be 40 metres from goal. Really academic when you think about it. The kick by Curran is all right for distance, but not so good for the accuracy. It's a behind. 1 goal, 2 to Chris Curran. Collingwood fans will go home unhappy, but the Saints fans, well, they've got plenty to cheer about because a lot of their younger players have grown a bit tonight. Robert Neal kicks them forward.
Towards centre wing. Yes, their young guns have done well, but so have some of their senior players like Captain Stuart Lowe. Sitting on top of the goal-kicking ladder, coming into tonight's game with 37 goals and 14 behinds. He's already booted 7. And we're in just round 7. Stuart Lowe from 43 metres. The drop punt's on its way. He misses. Stan Alves. Kelvin Moore giving the gum a decent old workout. But they'd be pretty pleased with this performance tonight. Paul Williams back into play.
I think so, Sandy, because as I said, their first couple of games after winning the Ansett Cup, they would have been disappointed with. And they've hit back pretty hard, St Kilda.
This is Crowe on the last line of defence.
And without Winmar.
Correct. Yes.
Mind you, they just have to keep going now without Nicky Winmar because that looks like a long-lasting injury, doesn't it?
Unfortunately so, but there it is. Victory to Stuart Lowe. St Kilda. Matthew Young comes across to Robert Neal. St Kilda successful, coming from behind with a big 7-goal last quarter.
This is the most stirring song, don't you reckon?
Yeah. And
don't you understand people getting involved in that?
Let's go down to the ground.
Thanks very much, Sandy. We've got one of the young guns, Aussie Jones. What a great sound that is.
That was a great finish. A lot of Saints fans out here tonight. Stan threw down the challenge at 3/4 time for the young guys to lift, and I think we all did. It was a great effort.
And this is the one you really want. I mean, to beat Collingwood on the MCG.
This has been our launching pad now. We'll just go on from here. We won't look back. We've got to make sure the games that we should win, we do, and we pull off wins like this all year.
And you become one of the young guns of the St Kilda, but Stewie Lowe and Berkey are like the father figures, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. They're great for us young blokes. I mean, there's a lot of talk about the young guys, but you can't underestimate them. They're great players, and without them, this wouldn't happen.
It's a great feeling to win out here, isn't it, really?
It certainly is. The crowd out here is just brilliant. I mean, there's a lot of Collingwood people, but the noise was just brilliant. And then the Saints people to get behind us.
Aussie Jones, go and enjoy, son.
Yes, and remember next week, Saints fans, you've got Adelaide at Football Park. A sobering thought.
Get to Aussie quick. He's going the wrong way, Sandy. He's gone to the rooms. The boys are still out there on the ground.
He's come back now. Yes, he was a little excited. He heads back to join them. Stuart Lowe leading the charge with 7 goals. Aussie booted 2. Jason Trianides didn't see a lot of him in the first half, but kicked a couple of exciting goals in the second. They're that way, Oz. They went that way. Peter Everett kicked a couple early. He kicked 2 in the second quarter, having been unsighted in the first. And they'll head down to their fans at the other end of the ground now. There they are. Well, that'll be a big game next week, Lee. Football Park, Adelaide Crows, St Kilda.
Yes, no, I mean, they've just got 3 or 4 fantastic players. I mean, Stuart Lowe at the moment, I mean, he and Tony Lockett, I kept actually almost calling him Lockett because they just play the same. They're just so big and strong, and when they get a chance to mark the ball, they just mark it. And they're on ballers. I mean, Burke and Harvey, they just sort of turned the game around from the midpoint of that second quarter. Collingwood unlucky, I mean, losing Russell, and I think Harvey... who was it? Francis getting that bad knock. I think it just, and once Burke had cut Buckley out and Daniels was on top of Williams, all of a sudden that midfield group was broken up, and it was the St Kilda players that were finishing on.
Yes, Nathan Buckley really threatened to tear the game apart in the first half, or particularly the first quarter. He booted 3 in the first quarter, and by half-time had 4, but after that just kicked 1 more and finished with 5. Burke was a big possession winner. Nathan Burke, 22 and 5. Robert Harvey, 16 and 13. Stuart Lowe, 18 and 4. And, of course, 7 goals. And they are passionate, the Saints fans. There's no question of that.
I think Vidovic was good too.
Yeah.
Well, Monkhorst, did you get the impression maybe that he was still suffering from that injury?
Well, maybe. I mean, he just certainly didn't play well. Mark Richardson, I thought, was doing quite well in the ruck for most of the game, but I think Vidovic probably kept going. The others stopped a little bit, I would have thought. I mean, and he sort of finished the game out strongly. So they hit, not so much the hit-outs, but just scunching the ball, quick kicks out of the pack, and in that last quarter, I think his centre square work, very important for the ruckman, not only to compete for the knockout, but have a go at getting the ground level ball if it sort of falls and bounces around, and I thought Vidovic did that well.
I'll give this a nice old razz up, Sandy, when this gets on in the rooms.
Forget the Norman Lubbock choir.
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the Sainters.
David Glascott has now got a... Oh, here they go.
Oh dear. Great stuff there for St Kilda fans and the players alike, as Trianides enjoys a well-earned drink. Peter Everett heads across there. St Kilda successful here at the MCG tonight. The final scoreline 18-10, 118. 23-point victors over Collingwood, 14-11, 95.